Good morning, Los Angeles. Thank you all for joining us today to mark and celebrate what teamwork can do for the region. On behalf of LA Metro, it is an honor to be here with leaders who have the keen vision and strong focus, who are working to ensure that our region is prepared to welcome the world for the 2028 Olympic and Paralympic Games. Now, to succeed in hosting such a momentous event, Senator Padilla, Metro Chair Mayor Karen Bass, and our other distinguished guests gathered here today who demonstrate the power of teamwork. Now, Metro is fortunate to have a board of directors who understand that teamwork makes the dream work, especially ahead of the Olympic and Paralympic Games. So thank you to Directors Butts, Horvath, DuPont Walker, and Yaroslavsky for also joining us today. I'd also like to acknowledge Congresswoman Napolitano, a fearless advocate for public transportation, along with Congressman Gomez, for being powerful advocates for Metro on Capitol Hill. Thank you both for being here today. Now, the federal funding Metro recently received is a perfect example of what happens when local, regional, and federal partners work together and advocate together. The partnership between LA 28, LA County, and our federal leaders shows us what can be done when we form a united front. Metro is committed to providing world-class mobility across LA County and for continuing our strong partnership with all of our stakeholders who want to join us in reshaping, transforming, and reimagining mobility in our region. So I want to take a moment to salute Senator Padilla for his remarkable leadership. Metro is proud to be a full partner with the senator on this success we mark today, as well as success we will mark in the future with East San Fernando Valley. I would also like to thank Ms. Billy Greer, Chair of the Exposition Park Authority, who is also with us. Mahalit Amari from FTA Region 9 is also with us. Denny Zane, founder of Move LA. And Amber Quintanilla from Senator Smallwood Cuevas' office. Now it is my distinct pleasure to introduce Metro's chair and the leader who on day one at our agency was moving with purpose, fearlessness, and with great effect to enhance our agency's already strong relationship with the federal government. Without further ado, please help me welcome Metro's chair and our Los Angeles Mayor, Karen Bass.
Good morning, everyone. It is wonderful to start a day off by talking about hundreds of millions of dollars. And let me just thank our outstanding CEO, Stephanie Wiggins, for leading us to this moment. I also want to join in thanking and acknowledging our Senator, Alex Padilla, for continuing to deliver for our city and our state, and especially for the role that he is playing in delivering this funding to Los Angeles. But I just have to tell you, this is just one area of funding. If I add up all of the money that you have brought to our city over this last year and to the state, it's in the billions. So we definitely want to thank you, and it's great to see my colleagues, my former congressional colleagues, Napolitano and Gomez. Wonderful to see you, and glad you have a break from D.C. for a week. Last month, I led a delegation to Paris because we didn't want to wait for the games to start to find out how they in Paris were preparing for this event. And at that same attitude of urgent preparation is what we are doing here today. Now, we're fortunate to have LA 28's leader, Casey Wasserman, who is definitely going to bring us to the point of having an incredible Olympics, but we wanted to see firsthand. So this nearly $900 million in federal funding that is coming to the region to expand Metro's rail system ahead of the 2028 Olympic and Paralympic Games will be vital for our success. And none of that would be possible. Listen carefully. None of that would be possible without the Biden-Harris administration leading on this important issue. So remember November. Well, preparing for the 2028 Games and the many other important international sporting events we'll be hosting will take all levels of government working together. Los Angeles appreciates having such strong, dedicated partners in Sacramento and D.C. When we were in Paris, the message was clear. There is no time to waste in preparing for the Games to be here. So I look forward to more accessibility and easier travel for Metro's current riders and for future riders as we continue preparing to be on the world stage. So thank you, and it is my great honor to introduce our great senator, Alex Padilla.
Thank you. Thank you. Round of applause for Mayor Karen Bass. Well, good morning, everybody. I think you're going to not just hear the theme over and over again, but enjoy the announcement today over and over again because it is worth celebrating. It's my honor to join Mayor Bass here today along with my colleagues. You know, I got to give a specific shout out to Representatives Napolitano and Gomez because for those of you who have paid attention to what's happening in Congress these days, not that it's easy to get things done in the Senate, but at least the Senate on a bipartisan basis gets it. We're trying to invest more in transportation and health care and environmental protection, et cetera. Given the current majority in the House, they're trying to cut budgets over there. And it takes true leadership, like what we've seen from Representatives Gomez and Napolitano, to keep the funding that we're celebrating here today possible. Now, the $900 million that we're announcing today is a combination of money that was in the recently approved appropriations bills, as well as the bipartisan infrastructure bill that was done a couple of years ago. But it would not be possible without them fighting, regardless of who's in the majority, to keep it in the budget. I also want to give shout outs to Stephanie Wiggins, fearless leader at LA Metro, my friend Casey Wasserman, who will be the first to join me in saying, while we're celebrating these investments in preparation for the Olympics, we're also emphasizing that it's not just for the Olympics. The people of Los Angeles will see the benefits before, during, and well after the Olympics. I want to thank FTA Region 9 for being here, the Metro board members that are here, and all my colleagues in public service at the state and local level as well. So as you've heard, in 4 short years, we're going to be hosting the Olympics. And the success with which we'll be able to show off our city and the region is in part because of today's historic announcement. $900 million in federal investments coming to Los Angeles thanks to the bipartisan infrastructure law and the recently passed appropriations bills. Stephanie Wiggins already gave us a sneak preview of what this means. The Purple Line extension, the light rail project in the Northeast San Fernando Valley. Yes, the light rail in the San Fernando Valley. Can you tell I'm from the Valley? But we truly do have a responsibility, not just to make the games themselves run smoothly, but to ensure these important investments in communities that have been here for a long time, will continue to be here for a long time, especially those communities that have historically been left out and overlooked when it comes to significant infrastructure investments. And it's not a coincidence. History tells us that it's often communities of color and underserved communities that are left with increased pollution and lower access to job opportunities, leading to lower life expectancy amongst other challenges. So today, as part of the $900 million that we're celebrating, let's acknowledge the nearly $140 million of federal funding that are specifically targeted to reconnect communities here in Los Angeles. It was one of the first bills I introduced in 2021, removing barriers and creating legacy. It became a component of the bipartisan infrastructure law. And what does it mean tangibly? You see some of the images here on the boards. We're talking about improved bus services that will connect more Angelenos to job opportunities. We're talking bike share stations, for example, to help students get to their college campuses. We're talking mobility hubs that will help the people of Los Angeles get around more efficiently. And so it is a significant reason to celebrate, reason to applaud the funding and the federal, state, and local collaboration that's making it possible. We're going to be ready for the games. We're going to correct decades of division in our communities and create a better quality of life for all Angelenos. And I'm just so thankful to all the people who are working together to make it all happen. Brevemente en español, estamos aquí no solo para anunciar los $900 millones de fondos federales para mejorar los sistemas de transportación en la región aquí de Los Ángeles, pero celebrar la colaboración que hizo esta inversión posible. Colaboración entre oficiales federales, estatales y locales, y los números de proyectos que se van a cumplir antes de las Olimpiadas del 2028. Pero es importante poner el énfasis en esto. Estos proyectos no solo son para las Olimpiadas. Vamos a ver los beneficios de estas inversiones antes de las Olimpiadas, durante las Olimpiadas y por mucho tiempo después de las Olimpiadas, porque la meta es a mejorar la calidad de vida para la gente de Los Ángeles. Y gracias a todos mis colegas en el servicio público para realizar estas inversiones tan importantes. With that, let me now thank you again and introduce my colleague, Representative Jimmy Gomez.
It's always a challenge to speak after Senator Padilla for a couple of reasons. One, got to lower the mic. And two, he looks like straight out of Central Casting. He is our senator, and he has done a fabulous job. So I'm proud to be here with Senator Padilla, the mayor, Casey Wasserman, my colleague, Grace Napolitano, announcing this $900 million investment in our infrastructure. But I'm more proud about the message it sends, that it's a change in mindset, not just a change in dollars. And the change in mindset is that our communities will not be an afterthought when planning any major event, when planning new lines for our transit system. We are thinking about it in a very different way. And I know Casey Wasserman with the Olympics shares that vision, that this Olympics will not be exclusive, but it will be inclusive, that will be one for the people. And it will be truly the people's Olympics when it's all said and done. But the way we do that is we invest dollars to I think, right a lot of the wrongs in the past that were, especially in the communities I represent on the east side. When they would build all these freeways, these communities were just torn apart. They put up a highway, a transit line, without giving any second thought to the communities that would be divided, to the smog and the pollution that would be created. The grants that we're getting from the federal government, $139 million in reconnecting communities grants, are transformative. It's going to be looking at, in my district, reconnecting MacArthur Park and making sure that it is one seamless park for the entire community. Creating a pedestrian bridge in the East Los Angeles area, connecting one side of the East LA to the other over the 710 freeway. Those are the kind of projects we want to see, ones that bring communities together, not tear them apart. And that's what these $900 million are going to do. Senator Padilla has been a tireless advocate on this issue, that every single dollar doesn't just benefit one part of our city, one part of our state, but every part. From the community that he grew up in, Pacoima, to the areas of East LA and to South LA, we're going to make sure that everybody thrives as we proceed to get ready for the Olympics. Because it's going to take everybody. It's going to take the local, it's going to take the county, the city, the state, and the federal government coming together to invest those dollars. So with that, I just want to say this has been a truly remarkable day. It's something to celebrate, but we're just getting started. The Paris Olympics, I believe they had to spend about $10 billion getting ready. We got to make sure that we raise additional dollars to make sure that this is a successful and inclusive Olympics. And I know that that's going to happen with the leadership of Casey Wasserman. Ideally, we want to make sure that this is something that pays off for years to come. If we remember correctly, the 1984 Olympics, those funds are still building parks to this day. There are still building parks in our communities where kids can go and play. I have a 19-month-old son. He enjoys those parks every single day, and it is there for everybody's enjoyment. So think about that. Almost, I don't know how many years. That's a long time ago. I forget how long ago that was. But it's been decades since those Olympics, and it's still paying off. So these Olympics, the 2028 Olympics, will be paying off for another 50 years after that. So with that, I want to call up my colleague who is a senior member of the infrastructure committee, and it's all about committees. If you're not on the right committee, you don't get a lot of say. And I want to say that Grace Napolitano has been, during her time in Congress, has been a real champion for Los Angeles, helping bring dollars for a lot of our metro projects. So with that, let's give a round of applause to Grace Napolitano, representative from the San Gabriel Valley.
Good morning, everybody. Beautiful day God has granted us. Thank you, Jimmy, and thank you, Mayor Bass and the LA Metro, Ms. Wiggins, for the federal advocacy and for your partnership in fighting these important transportation funds for our region. As I am the highest-ranking Californian on the House Transportation Infrastructure Committee, like Jimmy stated, we drafted and passed the bipartisan infrastructure law working with my colleague, my very valuable colleague, Senator Padilla, on the Senate Public Works Committee. 13 members of the California delegation signed a letter supporting the project. That was a partnership. And it was signed by President Biden March 9th into law. So the money is coming. Since it was passed, we in the Southern California delegation have been calling, writing, and meeting on a regular basis with Senator Buttigieg, with Secretary Buttigieg, and the key administration officials to ensure the much-needed fund comes to our communities. The announcement today of over $900 million in federal transportation funding for Los Angeles is the county, not just the city, it's the county, and I'm on the other side in the San Gabriel Valley, is the only the start of our continued work for this region. I am particularly pleased that $139 million was awarded to LA Metro for reconnecting communities and neighborhoods projects. It was discussed with Senator Buttigieg in the Transportation Committee, and 13 Los Angeles County members joined, as I've stated before, in sending a letter advocating for these funds. These critical funds will help rectify, as was said by Senator Padilla, the social injustices of the past and mitigate adverse impacts of the highway system. Low-income communities were not only wrongfully left behind by the rapid expansion of the highways and the roadways across the country decades ago, but have suffered the worst health effects of heavy traffic congestion and pollution. This regionally collaborative project will increase transportation options, service reliability, travel time savings, and expanding the reach of high-quality transit to all our communities that have been historically underserved. I'm particularly proud that the El Monte bus station in my area, the largest bus station west of Chicago, is receiving enhancements including investment in bike and pedestrian upgrades, concessions, and business development spaces, accessible parking, and EV charging, so important, EV charging, among other improvements. We congratulate LA Metro, Mayor Bass, on the successful grant applications and transit initiatives. We thank Secretary Buttigieg, the County of Los Angeles, and all who have fought for years to upgrade more equitable and needed transportation systems in our region. Thank you to all. It is indeed a partnership that we have been able to achieve this, and I look forward to working further with the mayor and Senator Padilla. And now it is my great pleasure to introduce the LA 2020 Olympic Chair, Casey Wasserman.
I want to thank Senator Padilla, Mayor Bass, Mayor Butts, Representatives Gomez and Napolitano, the Metro CEO Wiggins, Expo Park General Manager Andre Ambries, Council Member Yaroslavsky, Supervisor Horvath, Board Member DuPont Walker. It truly makes a team to have this happen, and we have a world-class team. When the world comes to Los Angeles in 2028, they will experience the games that celebrate the people and the communities of our city, and a transportation system that connects the people and the communities of our city. These games are not just LA's games, these are America's games. And the support of the federal government is essential, and I'm grateful to the administration, Congress, and the U.S. Department of Transportation for all their partnership. This grant is an example of the ongoing collaboration with federal, state, county, and city leaders to help deliver ambitious Games Times transportation. In addition, LA 28 can accelerate projects that will build LA's mobility future while also supporting Games Time transportation. That's why we are so proud to join our federal representatives and local government partners to advocate in Washington for projects that will bring lasting benefits to Los Angeles, from bus-only lanes to mobility hubs and innovative first and last mile improvements. In 1,563 days, in case you're counting, the greatest athletes in the world will compete in Los Angeles, at this Coliseum, and in stadiums throughout Southern California. They will be at their best, and they expect us to be at our best. And days like today exemplify our collective strength needed to host the Games and what the Games can and will mean for our region. I want to thank all of our government leaders and the many others. We are well positioned to host the greatest Games on earth, worthy of our city, worthy of our communities, and we can't wait for 2028. And with that, I'd like to invite Stephanie Wiggins back. Thank you.
Thank you, Casey. Let's give another hand for Chair of the 2028 Games. There's lots on his shoulders. All right, as I close, I need to acknowledge our stealthiest board member, Supervisor Holly Mitchell, who has joined us. It's all right. I want to thank everyone again for joining us today. Thank you, Senator Padilla, for your leadership. Thank you to Mayor Bass, Congressman Gomez, Napolitano, and of course, Chair Wasserman. As I shared in my welcoming remarks, this is what happens and can happen again in the near future when local, regional, and federal partners work together and advocate together. We have a lot of opportunity before us. We're not going to leave communities behind. Thank you. Follow us and go Metro. Thanks, everybody.